Ah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Between a Pot and a Hard Place. I'm Stephen Colton.
And I'm Christopher Patrick.
And I used to be soaking wet.
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
I've got to say that you kind of left me with a cliffhanger moment. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened.
I thought it'd be a little fun thing for the Twitter followers to kind of see this is random. What's going on with him? Right. So we're gonna show that picture right here. What we're talking about, if you didn't catch it on Twitter, I'm soaking wet, and the picture you can't really tell too much. I know I was wet. The shirt's not very shiny; it's soaking wet.
You look like a wet dog, kind of.
Yeah, I've got the whiskers and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started my new job today at the airport finally, and it's been
by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I've been to answer Corey's question, which I did earlier on Twitter. He replied, said, "Is it the $15,000 or $1,500 an hour job that I posted a picture of a while back?" There were two jobs posted at the airport. It was $1,500 an hour, and one was $3,000 an hour. Still on the fence about that. I'm like, all right, that sounds good, but no, it was not that job. But it's still a job, and it's not terrible. I mean, it's a new experience. I've never flown anywhere. So going into the airport and having to go through TSA and all this stuff, it's like, this is different.
Wait a minute. You've never flown anywhere before?
No. I mean, I was in a helicopter for about 15 minutes once when I was a kid at a carnival. But we just went into this 2 or 3 mile loop and then back down. We didn't really go anywhere.
I think it's funny because I've never been in a helicopter, but I've been in an airplane countless times. I think it's one of those things that you kind of expect that everybody's done. I think part of it for me is that my family's always been very spread out, right? I lived in Portland, or I lived in California, and I have family in Ohio and New York and Virginia. You either drive for 3 or 4 days, or you get in an airplane. So
yeah. Well, the story with getting soaked, we've had some rain here lately, and there's this big thunderstorm that went through surrounding areas around this part of town. I was at work. I worked 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And so around, I don't know what time, around between 5 and 6 o'clock, it started raining a lot. And I saw the clouds throughout the day. I was like, okay, this is going to happen. Hopefully not when I'm outside having to walk, because the parking lot where we have to park, and I feel special parking there because we have our little ID badge.
Right.
And, wave it in front of the thing at the parking thing, and the arm comes up for you. It's like, ha, ha, ha. But anyway, that is at the bottom of the hill, which you go past the terminal and then down the hill. And it's really not that far away, but it's a little bit of a walk. Especially going downhill and back uphill when you come back from a break or something. And it was pouring down rain, and it's only about a 5-minute walk. But I walk out the door right before I leave work. We're in our area where the store is. I should have thought about this and pulled up a Google image to show, but there's a bar, restaurant, and then there's a retail floor here with candy. There's bottled water, sodas, T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. And behind everything, at the back of the bar, you see this massive window, big, huge, curved, bay, massive bay window type thing, where all the airplanes are. You can see people boarding and stuff like that, and then planes backing up and taking off. So that's a cool view. And I'm looking out there just before leaving, and I see all the rain. I'm like, there's no chance that's going to stop in the next 3 minutes when I walk out. So I had to, I told my mom, I was like, I just had to stand there and take it. I could have stood inside the airport waiting, but I didn't want to wait till 8 o'clock to leave. So I just took it. I let it happen to me. I got wet, which, oh well. My mom says, "Oh, well, take an umbrella." Then I have to carry an umbrella around with me all day, hoping that it rains. Otherwise, I feel awkward carrying an umbrella.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't have your hat on.
Yeah, I guess it's the hat thing. Is a lot of jobs, I guess, especially at the airport, they don't, allow hats, which
Right.
I never understood in jobs. It's like, I get it if you're like working in an office or like some kind of law firm or something like that, but like, I guess the airport has a certain image,
Right.
black. The dress code is like black, black button-up shirt, which didn't really have a lot of money being out of work for so long to go buy a whole new wardrobe for work. But I did manage to go down to a Goodwill store, and I was like, all right, let me browse, see what they have. Very cheap clothes, very good clothes sometimes. And I found a really nice shirt, nice button-up. And they say, okay, we prefer long sleeves. And I'm like, well, middle of July, that's not ideal, but okay, I get it.
Right.
And then it was especially hard when it was soaking wet because then it's like sticking to me. And I'm just like, ugh. So, I mean, it's not bad, though. It's not a bad job.
I have one question, and that is, what's rain?
Yeah, what is rain? Wait a minute,
Right.
what is that?
You're complaining about rain, and I would die for rain here
Yeah.
in California. Give it another month, and our mountains are going to be on fire because everything is just so dry and dead. So, if you ever want to just send that water our way, please do so.
Well, I think it headed west, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe it was coming east. I don't know.
Signed. It's only got 3,000 miles to go, I guess.
You might get a drop by the time it gets there.
Just about. I'll cross my fingers. Well, I'm glad that you survived. I'm glad that you're okay. You got that free shower after work. Maybe you'll watch the weather report before you head out the door next time or something. Yeah,
but then again, it's like I don't even own an umbrella anymore, so I don't know why. I just haven't really been outside in the rain and to need one. But hopefully, at least I can be more prepared mentally. Like, okay, I know I'm going to get soaked. I'm just glad it didn't happen earlier in the day when I took a break because I just went to my car to sit and kind of hang out instead of sitting on a bench outside the airport or sitting inside. I've always been funny about that. If I have a break where I can actually leave work and come back, I would much rather leave. And some people I know would just stay at work and have their break there. It's like, no, you got to get away from that for a minute. Luckily, it didn't rain at that point because then I would have been soaked and then had to work the rest of the day soaking wet.
So is there not like a break room that you're able to go to?
I mean, I'm sure there's not really. I guess there's like a little corner. There's the door to where our like stockroom area is. There's this place. I don't even know. It used to be, I guess, a store or like a little food place, kind of like a pretzel place or whatever kind of little corner type area. But it's vacant, I guess, and they use it right now because they have so many extra pallets of bottled water that got ordered extra. And so I made the joke earlier, like, oh man, we're running out of water. We need to order some more. But yeah, we go in there and there's like tables sitting around there so you can sit there, or there's like the open area by where the bar and restaurant, there's several tables. There's not like an enclosed private break area.
Yeah.
But I like going outside anyway and actually getting to escape for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes during my break at work, I'll leave my office and I will just go for a walk.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, where I work is sort of like the rural county part of San Bernardino, over in Muscogee, and it's there's not a lot of traffic. I can go walk down the road a little bit, and then just kind of get my heart rate up a little bit, get away from my office, and so I totally get you about stay at work if you have your break.
Because then you feel like you're still working, even though you're not, and it's just one of those awkward things. But then it's ironic because a lot of times I would be off work and hang around, not at the airport yet, this is my first day, but like other jobs in the past, I would hang out after work and just talk to the people that were working that I knew.
Yeah.
And I would be there for 2 hours hanging out. I'm like, why am I still here? But I guess I had the power to leave whenever I wanted. I didn't have to be like, oh man, what do I got to do next? I'm sitting here like, I don't have to be here, but you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did manage to get some sugar-free Werthers.
Okay.
These are caramel chocolate swirl. What really gets me is like the candy companies don't want you to eat less sugar because a regular pack of Werthers is about twice the volume as a sugar-free packet. package, but they cost the same.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, you got to buy 2 bags of the sugar-free to equal the same. That's not fair.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty common. You know, you get people trying to cut back on their sugar, and they end up kind of getting punished for it.
But you know, these are very tasty. Like the chocolate caramel, they don't taste like there's no sugar in them. I
mean, again, being diabetic, that is my go-to as well. Like if I'm gonna eat sugar, I'm going sugar-free. So I'm just thankful they've got them, even if I'm getting gypped along the way.
I wonder if they have sugar-free Lucky Charms.
I don't know. I was shocked to find out that they make like sugar-free peanut brittle. Like,
oh wow!
And my daughter went to See's Candies this week and brought back a big giant box. And man, I engorged myself on it, probably a lot more than I should have had. But it was sugar-free. So.
See, Corey's saying that you are afraid of rain like a Californian.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. I don't like driving in it. I feel like an old. When it comes to driving, I feel like a 90-year-old lady. I'm just sitting there like.
We just confessed to that.
I mean, maybe not that bad, but it's more so the people around me that think, okay, I can go 90 miles an hour. It doesn't matter if the road is like a water slide. I'll just do whatever I want.
It's no joke. We have people here that just don't know how to drive in the rain, and they'll drive just as fast on the freeway in the rain as when they don't, when they can't see, and they get more accidents. God, I'm so thankful it doesn't snow here because, man, the morons.
Oh gosh,
so many accidents.
Oh my gosh, it would be disastrous because it's like it reminds me of a clip I saw on YouTube or whatever it was, where people who haven't really seen snow before were visiting some friends or family or whatever, and they go outside and they see they're at the top of this apartment complex. There's like a staircase that goes down to the little parking area. And there's like 3 snowflakes on each car. They're like, dude, your cars are covered in snow. And he doesn't fake. And he starts to walk towards the steps, slips, and goes boom, 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 all the way down. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like they just thought, oh, look, snow is fun. Let's just walk on it. And then they had no concept of men to like make fun of them because it's like if you've never been around snow, then you wouldn't know. But then if you think little tiny frozen shavings of water on the ground might be slippery.
Yeah.
But
yeah, unfortunately, that's the way that it is. You know, I can remember the few times that it's actually landed on the ground and stuck, and people completely lost their mind.
What is this?
Really? I mean, you know, generally speaking, because we're so low, altitude-wise, the only place that it generally sticks is in the nearby mountains. But we normally don't. It doesn't stick here. You'll see people that live up on the mountains that come down here to work, and their cars will be just caked with snow.
You're like, wait a minute, did you just do some kind of dimensional portal?
Just about. I've got to say that I like it that way. I don't want to have to live with the snow. Yeah. I enjoy the fact that it's not a part of my daily life. If I want to drive up to the mountain to go and enjoy the snow, I can do it. But I'm much more happy just being able to admire it from afar. So
yeah, I kind of like that too.
Yeah, I'm sorry to laugh at your misfortune about getting wet, but
hey, it's funny.
Yeah, at least it was when you were leaving work and not like as you're coming into work.
Yeah, then I have to go through the whole day being soaked.
Terrible.
I would have dried off eventually, but. I mean, I thought like, it was funny, too, because when I'm walking to my car and I'm soaking wet, the instant I feel the rain, it kind of felt like the water bucket challenge thing where, like, it wasn't cold, but it kind of reminded me of that. And the first thought I had in my mind was, man, this is going to be a funny story for the podcast.
Yeah.
And so that's, I've told people about it. And, I was talking up to one of the managers today. It's like, oh, you have a podcast? Yeah. And she's like, okay, let me pull it up on my phone. Is this you? And I'm like, yeah, that's it. And so it's kind of cool. And another thing I wanted to talk about was like when I went out yesterday to find a shirt, I took 3 stickers with me, and I wrote on the back the URL for the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And the time, like live Sundays, whatever time. And I wrote that on the back. The backs of those stickers are so hard to write on, so it looks like an 8-year-old wrote it or something, or a 6-year-old. because it's like I had to like press in sometimes, and the pen didn't want to write. Too bad I didn't have like a Sharpie with me in my car when I did it, because the ballpoint pen just did not want to write very well. But eventually I got it. I think it's legible enough.
Yeah.
And I just kind of randomly placed them in the Goodwill store. So maybe somebody's going to be like, "What is this garbage?" Or they go, "What is this? Maybe I'll check that out."
Yeah.
Who knows?
I certainly, you've probably noticed I've been actively inviting people via Twitter to join us and watch. So I'm hoping that gets some attention too, to drive them over to see what we're doing. I really do just feel like what we put out there is good stuff. We deserve people to come and kind of share that with us too. So.
And that's why I shared the whole like getting soaked picture in the story, because I think a lot of people appreciate, the people that do watch us and listen and everything and follow us. I think they appreciate little bits of our life instead of just like, let's see what this guy thinks of the Mandalorian, and like, okay, but let's see what he did today other than that.
Right. Well, and the truth is that we really are, two just average Joes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're people that love pop culture and superheroes and TV shows a lot, and we, even if we didn't have this podcast, we would still be, texting and talking about shows we're watching and what we're enjoying. I love the fact that we get to share that with people. I mean, that's the coolest thing in the world. And
I've said before that I watch our shows back sometimes just for entertainment and get to like, oh, what did I say about the Flash? Let me watch it. And then I've noticed too that we're just kind of, like you said, average Joes who talk. Like, I remember less about certain things than you might, but it's different than watching a show about, say watching any other video interview on like Entertainment Weekly or whatever other news media channel or site, because they're all professional, typical like scripted, like ready to go, like things that you hear the same thing every entertainment article you read, it's the same exact story or the same exact video.
Well,
and at least
and I know we've talked about like trying to script ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think the more that we do this, the more I think we realize that our strength is in the conversation. It is in the genuine reflection that we have about what we're watching and how we feel about it. I think our passion comes through. So,
in the iCarly theme song, I still, even from last week when I mentioned it, I watched the latest episode of iCarly the other day, and I'm just like, man, that song gets me. I don't know what it is. It kind of helps. Like, it's as weird as it sounds. Like, it's inspiring. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I can do this. If iCarly can do it, I can do it.
There we go.
That's why we started the podcast. Because
I had not thought about iCarly being our muse here for the podcast. Who thought that we would be inspired by, two 13-year-old girls? But hey, people find inspiration in a lot of weird places, right?
Like the show itself, I could probably take it or leave it, because it's really kind of boring, and I mean, there's some funny moments and stuff, but it's just something about the theme song itself. I'm just, I don't know. I watch it because I still don't know why I watched the first show, because I was too old then to watch it. I think it was like 2012 or something when that show came out.
Right.
And now it's like not even 10 years later, and they're doing it again.
So you're talking about the new
iCarly, which the theme song is basically exactly the same as the old one. I'm not even convinced that they didn't just reuse the original audio for the song. That they might have re-recorded it, and they've shortened it too. It's not like the full song you hear on the original show. It's like just kind of shrunk down, but the basic chorus still plays. And I don't know, it's a fun song.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of stuff lately. I got lucky with a few things. I got lucky with a free month of Disney Plus as a perk, and I don't really know how I qualified for that, because I think I've already had it before, but I'm not going to argue with it. And I also got a free month of, what was it? Maybe it's not another free month. Maybe I'm just thinking of something different. I think I'm thinking of something different. But yeah, I started watching Loki.
Yes. Oh,
And
I mean, I've been. How many weeks have I been
oh,
like giving you pressure to watch Loki? And I'm like, what are you waiting for?
it's been nearly 2 months because they had the last episode, the 6th episode, just aired
Yeah.
a few days ago,
Yeah.
and I finished all of them, I think in 2 days.
What do you think? Like, I mean, I think that we could definitely talk about, different aspects of the show. And again, if you haven't watched Loki, we're going to be definitely dropping some spoilers for you.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, even with spoilers, it's worth going and seeing.
See, Danny's here. Yeah, hello, Danny. How are you?
Yeah.
How is the? I haven't read Facebook today. How is the? Was it your shoulder, back, or whatever? I'm sorry, I don't remember. But hopefully, you're healing up nicely with that.
Well, it's cool because Danny and I actually went out and had lunch this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
So we had talked about the podcast, and Danny said that she would be joining us here today. So
awesome!
It's cool to have her with us. So yeah,
and back is almost back to normal. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. All right. So Loki, right?
Yeah.
I got to say first and foremost that it's a show that really leans heavy on Tom Hiddleston's. If you like him and the character that he plays, you're gonna like the series. I think that what it delves into is, I think it shows off his cleverness. It's so well written.
Oh yeah.
Lots of good humor, and yet it's also pretty dark at the same time.
Yeah. And you weren't kidding when you said like Owen Wilson's character was really awesome. I loved his character. It was a cross between serious and goofiness, and it was just good.
I think one of what I love about what he and his name is Mobius, right?
Yes, Mobius.
Kind of like the Mobius curve that's for eternity. That kind of idea. So he's Mobius. I love the fact that he somehow is able to put Loki in his place.
Yeah.
Like when have we ever seen Loki not able to talk his way out of something or manipulate his way out of something? And there is Mobius, who just very casually is able to toy with him and prod him and get what he wants. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
And what Danny says here, that's a good perspective. I would argue that this is the most fleshed out and demanding role that Owen Wilson has ever played. I would agree with that because honestly, still waiting for a Ben Stiller cameo. That would be amazing.
Right. This is not Meet the Fockers, right?
No, but that would be awesome. Meet the Lokis.
Meet the Lokis.
There is season 2 coming. So
yeah, like somebody said, I want to either hear a wow or a ka-chow at some point, and I think that we deserve that from.
Wow. No, that was a bad one. Wow. I used to do that better, but I haven't done it in so long.
You got to work on your impressions there, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Owen Wilson. I'm on. I was almost going to say I'm on the Mandalorian, but I got my shows mixed up.
Well, I think what's amazing that they did is this very clear introduction of the multiverse.
Yeah. Although I still I'm like, I know I was sending the text to you, what is this? Explain this. Time travel, all Savitar. Blah.
And Steven, I'm almost worried about having this conversation because your brain generally melts.
Yeah.
When we talk about time travel or alternate realities or different worlds or branching and all that kind of stuff. So I understand that as we jump into this could be a tense moment for you, but
especially hearing, when Ant-Man says, "So Back to the Future was total bullshit," and I'm like, "No, it wasn't." And then now seeing Loki, I'm like, "Wait, that doesn't seem to match up with what?" But how?
Yeah, you have
but it was so good.
We know from Infinity War and from Endgame the idea that there's the principal timeline, right?
Yeah.
That the Infinity Stones help create that flow of time.
Mhm.
What we didn't realize is how the how this time bureau, kind of like very legendy, right?
Yeah.
How this time bureau essentially is actively maintaining the flow of time. So any time that somebody makes a major divergent decision, right, where they do something that isn't in line with what's supposed to happen, they get pruned, or they swoop in and remove that person from the timeline in order to maintain the continuity.
And they basically send them to the Phantom Zone.
They do.
Um,
They
I
do.
mean, it's kind of what it was.
Right. Now, we had thought that they were being, physically destroyed.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What's the difference between killing a person and sending them to the end of time?
Which, it reminded me a lot of the beginning of time in Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Right.
which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that same kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the timeline thing. So with the timekeepers going, okay, well, you messed up, we have to fix this, and boom, you're gone. You're in the Phantom Zone now. If they don't do that, does the Back to the Future is total bullshit? Does that go out the window? Does time really get affected if they stop going to work?
What we've seen here is this idea that if they do not regularly go and prune the timeline, that it keeps branching and it keeps branching and it keeps branching, and you get chaos, right? You get chaos.
So many doppelgangers, so many this, so many that.
You do, and so we get to the end of the whole season, and there is, the big bad, the guy they've come to essentially assassinate and get their lives back and take over and destroy this time bureau, and the guy is there essentially saying, "Go ahead, kill me, but whatever comes after me is going to be so much worse."
Yeah.
And that is sort of that's the gambit that he starts playing is, hey, if you want to kill me, go right ahead, knock yourself out, see what happens. Which is, I think, the last thing that either of them had expected. They'd expected him to beg for his life, or maybe to fight for his life. And at that moment, when Sylvie stabs him, he's literally smiling and laughing at her because he knows what's coming. It's that whole Chinese proverb: "Be careful what you wish for; you just might get it."
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that come pretty soon. I will tell you that I loved Sylvie.
Yeah, I mean, I almost forget that she was a Loki because it's like, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, is she a Loki or is she a Loki that possessed this other person? Because I know they were doing that at one point, and so I was like, I don't know if this her body, like, is that her natural body, or did she possess somebody else? Well, but then I saw the alligator Loki, the little kid Loki, the old man Loki. I was like, oh, okay, that's probably just her. And from her universe, she was Loki.
Yeah. So the idea of somebody being from an alternate world is they've got this completely different backstory. They might even be a completely different person or even species, and yet they're still technically Loki. And people were losing their minds. The idea that Sylvie and Tom Hiddleston Loki, they clearly have an attraction for one another.
Yeah.
This, I know some people were losing their minds. Like even the hilarious nature of the whole thing. That how egocentric does Loki have to be that he falls in love essentially with himself?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
What a narcissist.
I can't decide if that's incest or not. If it's yourself,
it's not incest, right?
I guess not. I mean, it is yourself.
Yeah,
and it's technically a different person, even though it is still yourself. It's kind of weird, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not weird in a bad way, but weird in like a what's going to happen next kind of way.
Even technically, it would be masturbation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Right, and I realize I broke out the M word here on here live, but yeah, I mean, unless Sylvie didn't consent, that would still be rape. Though, can you rape yourself? I guess is another.
Yeah, there's
a whole. I think a whole moral conversation that we can have here. But the idea, I think, what I really loved was how they slowly developed this relationship between Sylvie and our Loki over time. Right?
And really.
Yeah.
I kept thinking the whole time that our Loki, the main Loki, isn't really the main Loki anyway. He was just kind of a past version from a different timeline anyway. So that was a little weird to follow. Like, I understood that and I accepted that. But Corey's got an interesting little comment here. Saying, Mom and Dad will see this.
You're gonna show this to Mom and Dad?
Like, look what Chris was talking about on the podcast.
Right. Well, you know what makes me feel good is my dad's probably asleep at this point, so I'm not really in any danger. But here's what I think is that Sylvie and our Loki, there's a reason why they were the only two that got through to Kang, right? Mm-hmm. They got through to the end because there's something special about them, right? None of the other Lokis made it through. It was just them. And I will tell you that while right now, for Sylvie and for Loki, they had thought that getting to Kang was the end game. They had thought, get to him, kill him, and it's game over. We get our lives back. And what he actually revealed to them, he had talked about how this is a journey, right? This is this is something that this is just the beginning for them. He had also said that he was going to give them a choice to either kill him or take his place. And what I really think here in this case is there is no choice. He had told them, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I really believe that he is telling them that they're going to kill him. They're going to go through a lot of hell as a consequence of removing him from the equation. Kang the Conqueror is going to show up, who's going to be terrible. And they're going to understand the reason why the Bureau is there pruning the timeline. And ultimately, both Loki and Sylvie will end up in charge at the end.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And it's too bad. I still don't understand now. Like, could they go back in time and not kill him anymore?
No.
But no, that wouldn't happen because it would just create a different timeline. And
it would.
See, that's the thing I don't get about them. I mean, I understand it, and I knew this was going to happen. I was like, but time travel. I don't know. I guess between like DC and Marvel's explanation of time travel, Marvel is more like, oh, you're creating a multitude of universes, and that's where the multiverse comes from. There was one timeline, and you jumped. Oh, there's two timelines. Now there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with DC, there just always were all these timelines and all these universes. And so it's a little bit different. And we know with DC, like you go back in time, you step on a butterfly, the internet is never invented. I stole that joke from Hot Tub Time Machine. But Marvel's a lot different because you can do whatever you want, but then your past is still going to stay the same or whatever, but it'll affect. Oh my gosh. I actually finally wrapped my head around like what Hulk was saying in Endgame, where, you know, if it's 2015 and you go to 2020, then 2020 is no wait, you're in 2020, you go back to 2015. 2015 is your future. So when you go back to 2020, like it's already happened, you can't change it. So I get it.
Right.
But I just love the classic like explanation of like you go back in time and like, you know, kill like your great grandfather and you're never born. Or, you know, not that like, oh, you'll just not exist in this universe, but the next one you will. I don't know. There's different like good things.
If you're asking me about what version of time travel I like the idea that you can go back into the past and change it, and that will affect your future. I kind of like that, and I find it to be simpler. However, this is the Marvel framework, and their story exists within that. We can't say, I'm sorry, Marvel, you need to follow more rules.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's the thing. We just have to kind of understand that that's the way things work.
At least it makes more sense to me. Marvel's entire perspective on time travel makes more sense to me than Savitar.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and we're gonna leave Savitar in the past or the future or wherever Savitar is or isn't. That's another conversation.
Right? One thing, though, speaking of the Flash, we won't go too far into this, but we got one more episode left, the season 7 finale, and we have Jay Garrick. We've already seen him in the part 1 finale, part 1 last week. From what I understand, this Jay Garrick now is obviously on Earth Prime because they don't know that there's a multiverse still.
Yeah.
As far as the Flash goes. Now, we do know that on Superman and Lois, they're aware that there's now a new multiverse because, well, John Diggle comes in and says, hey, multiverse, what? But with Flash...
John Diggle meets John Henry Irons.
Yeah.
And John Henry Irons says, I'm from another world. So, and considering how Diggle is kind of made appearances on every show, it's a matter of time before he starts letting people know, hey, the multiverse still exists. So.
Yeah, I mean, he will. I don't think he knows it yet. I think John Henry Irons was like the first time he's like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
All that stuff that happened and there's still a multiverse?
Right.
But
so what it means, though, is that Jay Garrick, not only is he on Earth Prime, but we also know at some point that he's going to make an appearance over in Stargirl.
And that's the question: is the Stargirl Jay Garrick the same? I still don't know. I'm starting to think they're different. They're different ones because nobody on Flash knows there's a multi. Even Jay Garrick doesn't know there's a multiverse anymore. Because as far as we know, this Jay Garrick is a completely different Jay Garrick than we knew before.
Yeah.
Because as we know, like Jay Garrick was from Earth 2. Jay Garrick was killed and done, and then post-crisis, he's alive on Earth Prime. So and we know that Stargirl is Earth 2. I believe Earth 2, right? Or is it 3? 2. Because at the end of Crisis, it shows Stargirl, Earth 2, whatever. So if that creates not like a plot hole or anything, but it has to mean that they're different Jay Garricks, I would think, because Earth Prime Jay Garrick couldn't be on Stargirl because there's no interdimensional, as far as they know, that's not possible. Unless it becomes possible in the finale of The Flash, which I'm excited to see them.
I think it's going to be great. And again, before we go down a rabbit hole, I think that we need to wait and see what happens on Stargirl. I'm glad that Stargirl comes out next month.
August 10th.
August 10th, yeah. That's definitely going to be something to wait for. And I know we're still kind of focusing on Flash here, but I will say that Stargirl, if you haven't watched Stargirl season 1, what are you waiting for?
Watch it right now.
It really is good. They've got a fresh young cast. They've got some awesome villains. A really neat kind of plot idea behind it all. Again, it's really great.
Corey makes a very, very good point. He says Jay has to be from another Earth because he's married to Flash's mom. And that's true. His wife is a doppelganger for Nora Allen. And she couldn't exist on Earth Prime. There couldn't have been 2 Nora Allens unless, oh my gosh. I was going to say maybe Jay and his wife are Barry's real parents now, but he saw his parents' graves post-crisis. So that's, Corey, you just made my mind blow, and now I'm going to wait till Tuesday to figure out if this makes any sense or not. Yeah. I'm even more confused now, but it's cool.
I think that what we definitely have seen is that Earth Prime is this mashup of all of these different. You got characters that were dead that have been brought back. People that had been They had one baby, now have two, and now they're teenagers. I mean,
Some people that had one baby don't have any baby at all anymore.
No, it's just, like I just feel like it's definitely Flashpoint all over again.
Yeah.
And the rules that we had been led to believe have been thrown out the window. Let me just say, number one, I'm a long time Flash lover, and I've been unfortunately rather disappointed with the Flash as far as its writing and with its writing and some of the plot of the show. However, the last episode I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, it was definitely. I was waiting to see when you watched it because I wanted to discuss how such a different change of pace. Like the other ones, it's like, oh, and the one episode where Barry went on vacation and then he comes back like, what did I miss? It's like, dude, you missed the whole episode.
Yeah.
And then now it's like such a classic Flash episode, so good.
I know some people have given a lot of hate to Bart and to Nora.
Yeah.
Appearing on the scene, and it almost feels like we've had this storyline before. However, it's not the same Nora that we had known prior. This is a different Nora that has shown up, and I really like the difference in her character.
She's more mature. Yeah,
absolutely. She actually reminds me a lot of Iris.
She really does.
Yeah, in the way she deals with Bart, she has that kind of bossy older sister quality, and so I think that's really cool.
Doesn't it sort of feel like the Barry and Iris dynamic from season 1, like from the first 5-6 episodes, where it's like, Barry, you're so silly, you can't do that. Like the whole Barry was very reckless and kind of immature and goofy in the beginning of the show, and he's matured, so it kind of. They really are acting like their parents, and some people complain that Bart is too goofy. It's like it's the Flash's son.
Right.
Of course, he's going to carry on his dad's traits. I mean, it's just going to happen.
Well, and Bart has always been portrayed as being goofy, and I understand that some people their issue is that according to comic lore, Bart Allen is really their grandson,
right?
Not their son. But again, we're talking about post-crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Things that were before aren't, and they're kind of recycling characters. I think at some point you just have to take a deep breath and accept that this is what we're getting. But I think their portrayals are really, really good.
They are.
I've Jordan Fisher, who plays Bart. I think he brings this excitement, this energy, this enthusiasm to a character that we haven't seen yet. And he has that, Nora had been the impulsive one when we first met her. And now she's very controlled. And now Bart seems to have taken on that whole, rushing in there without really figuring out what he's going to do.
Do you remember the impulse from Smallville?
Vaguely.
Okay, yeah, his character was a little bit different. The first time he meets Clark Kent, he's speeding through and he saves his dad, Jonathan Kent, from getting hit by a car. And the car, he swoops in, moves his dad. Clark's like, wait a minute, who is that? And then the car smashes into the newsstand and everything. And then in the process, he steals Jonathan Kent's wallet.
Yeah.
So he was like a thief, but then he didn't have the backstory in Smallville. He was just like, look, I don't know. One day I popped up in the field, and here I am. He had no knowledge of who he was. He knew he was Bart Allen, but he didn't know anything else. He didn't know who his parents were. He didn't know anything. And they addressed it later in the comics, where Barry goes into the future and meets young Bart Allen and says, well, not Barry, but Clark Kent as Superman. In the Smallville comics that happened after the series, meets young Bart and goes, oh, it's Bart. But that character was a lot different because this Bart has been raised by loving parents and doesn't grow up on the streets. But it's a nice comparison because it's like, okay, well, he was still impulsive and jumping into situations when he probably should have thought it out. But completely different personalities.
Yeah.
And I think they're both good in their own way. I think a lot of people look at the Smallville Bart as more accurate or whatever. But I really think that it's cool that they're taking this idea that, okay, well, their children are biracial. Of course they are. I know a lot of people are like, no, that's not what his son would look like. That's not what his daughter would look like. It's exactly what they would look like. I think that those actors that play Nora and Bart look exactly like Grant Gustin and Candace Patton. Like if they had kids, they would look like those people.
Yeah, casting has been fantastic. I will say that one of the things, we understand that whenever time travel gets involved, not only does it give Steven a headache, but at the same time, it usually never gets any better, right? How often have we seen people go back in time and they just screw things up worse?
Yeah.
And I feel like, though I understand that Nora and Bart have come back into the past because of all of these Godspeeds that have shown up. And as we found out, Godspeed is sort of Bart's nemesis because he's the one that kills Jay and Garrick, Uncle Jay, right? But at the same time, man, I keep thinking, how are they going to make things better or are they going to make things worse? That's
there's going to be a big consequence, I think, and I love the fact that Reverse Flash is coming.
Yeah,
we're going to see him on Tuesday. It has to be
damn time.
Because they planted the seed directly when they first said well, Godspeed must be his Thawne. I'm like, boom, there it is. He's coming. Well, I knew that from the set photos, but still, that was so I love how they plant these seeds.
Yeah,
it's and then Barry says, "I know Thawne is still floating around there somewhere." I'm like, come on. At first, I thought they might be teasing. Well, they were kind of teasing that Thawne could be Godspeed, or at least when they were talking about when the Godspeeds were talking about he wants the power, his will. I thought they were talking about Thawne. Yeah. They might still be. Because, the real August Hart is, in this, state of, amnesia. He has no idea who he is. But yet, the real August Hart is in his brain. Which I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit at that. But it's another Mindscape episode. Do they have to do one of those every year?
Right.
Do they have to? Will they go to jail if they don't do it?
It's got to be in the contract. That's what it is. It's in the contract.
I liked it with The Thinker. Because it was a new way to tell a story. They hadn't done before, really. But then it's I think they had a Cecile Mindscape twice. Once where then she was in there and they found out she was in the mental hospital. And I think they did it with her again at another point. Right. And it's because she had to go in one time to get Barry out or something. It just gets... Well, I don't know.
I think that, Cecile is one of those characters that she kind of becomes a background character very easily. And, I think that they're looking for ways to include her in the story.
Right. And it works. It's not like it's poorly written or anything like that. Because it's okay, well, I don't know. I think it's just the thing that a lot of the main villains they've had to defeat by going into their mind. It's if the Thinker made a lot of sense because he was the Thinker.
Yeah.
Well, with Godspeed, it's just kill August Hart.
Yeah.
Right in the head.
So
no more Godspeed.
I guess the question comes down to, is Reverse Flash involved with the Godspeed, making it worse, or does he realize that Godspeed really is a threat to all speedsters? I wonder if it's going to force an alliance with Team Flash. That's kind of where
I think so.
Curious about.
Yeah, I think that's where it's heading. I think that happened in the comics. Maybe not Godspeed specifically, but I think at some point in time in the comic books, Eobard Thawne became a friend, eventually. But whether he went back or not, I don't remember. But
we know that Thawne is a survivor and that he will do whatever he has to do to save himself. Right?
And I think that's what he's doing with Godspeed.
Yeah.
I think he's manipulating him.
We'll see if I'm right or not, but that's I'm gonna put money on the table that is what's happening.
Yeah, I've got a nickel right here.
Okay,
no,
there we go.
When
I win, I'll get 10 cents.
I really think that Godspeed is being manipulated by Thawne in
Yeah.
order to. I don't know what his actual goal is. I don't know if he even has a body right now. My guess is, what do they call him? The new Wells. He had a nickname, Forever Wells or whatever it was, or Timeless Wells.
Timeless Wells.
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
Wow.
I think that one.
It's greeting cards.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the name. It's like, okay, well, he's just living the same loop,
Right.
which that's another thing. Loki reminded me of that when they were like, you can, when he goes into that chamber and he keeps getting hit in the head over and over and over. It's a loop.
Yeah.
And they like, somebody says at one point, you can live a continuous happy memory, or you can do this. It's like, that's what Wells did. He's doing it now.
Yeah.
I think that Wells ends up getting like transformed into Thawne. Unless they get Matt Letcher back, then it's just going to be him, which I think it is. It very much is Tom Cavanaugh, and based on the set photos, I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. They teased Cisco left, he was gone, and then all of a sudden, boom, here he is.
I'm so glad that you brought that up. Because,
yeah.
I think that it was obvious that at the time when Barry and Team Flash really needed to have all hands on deck, it was like everybody was gone. Like, of all the bad times for Cisco to leave is when Barry needed him most. And even Diggle, I'm like, Diggle shows up for 30 seconds, drops off tech, it breaks, and then he goes. And I'm like,
he's just like, sorry, I only brought one.
Yeah, I'm not going to stick around and help you to stop this guy. Like, I love Diggle. I think he's great, but I wanted more of him.
Yeah, I think Cisco's return was a little strange too. Like you said, it was the worst timing for him to leave, and I think they did it this way, definitely to give us the moment we have right now, talking about, oh my gosh, Cisco came back. Totally was for that reason. Because it was awkward that he left with 3 or 4 episodes left. It's like, why is he leaving why not finish the season out? Well, he is, I guess. But it was weird because he came back saying like, well, Diggle came back to Argus and we were talking about the water cooler and we decided, well, man, Barry, you need some help. And Diggle was just too lazy, so I figured I would come and help. It's like he never heard of Are we still here?
Hey, I'm here. Yeah, it just froze up on me there first.
You're still here?
Yeah.
Okay, it froze up on me too.
Okay, that's crazy.
I think it was just a weird glitch. I wanted to look. I looked at my router in another room, and I'm like, because my router has a blue light or a red light. So, and I did have a hiccup the other day.
Okay.
My Disney Plus wasn't working like all day yesterday. I was so mad. But anyway, yeah, Cisco was talking about how he decided to come and help him with his problem because Diggle told me about it. It's like, you already knew about the problem before you left. So why did you need Diggle to come and tell you about it? I mean, I don't know. I guess it was just a way for him to leave and come back. Yeah. Just to shock us.
I will just say it was great getting a little more Carlos Valdez, a little bit of Cisco action, and he did come right when they needed him.
Yeah.
So I thought it
was good. And I think they're going to do the same with Wells. Now, whether you see Harrison Wells come back or if you see Thawne come back.
Or both.
Or both. Maybe they merge somehow. I don't. Maybe they do merge because I had a thought that, when Bart phased through one of the Godspeed clones, Nora's like, you can't phase through a speedster. Your molecules could have fused. You're stupid. I was wondering if that was a hint or foreshadowing to something else because Barry does the same thing later.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe Wells Thawne phases through Wells and just merges with him.
and I think you're onto something because we've never really seen a speedster phase through a person.
Right.
And in one episode, we see both Bart and Barry do that, right? They phase through that person, all of their kinetic energy stored in their body kind of electrocutes them as they pass through. We really haven't seen that move. It seems to be pretty highly effective.
Yeah.
So, really dangerous.
The only thing close to that we've seen that I can remember is when Barry phased through, and I'm not going to get in a rabbit hole here, but when Barry phased through the Savitar suit.
Yeah.
But he didn't phase through Savitar, just the suit. He pushed him out of the suit. I guess like grabbed him and phased him through the suit and stayed in it. But that was still a cool moment. But yeah, we've never seen a human phase through another human.
Right.
Or any parts of a person phasing through anybody else. Other than when Thawne would kill people. But then they died. So it was crazy. But it was a speedster and a speedster. So I guess who knows? Like I think there's gonna be more to that. I don't think it was just a throwaway, or it could have been like a throwaway thing to say, "Oh, Bart, you're so reckless," and then Barry learned from Bart after I give him a big speech like, "How dare you?" and then he does the same thing.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty common that they're letting us know that this is something that's possible and that it's dangerous, so that when it happens later on, we're not surprised by it too much.
Right.
So I think you're absolutely onto something. I'm just crossing my fingers. We had a good episode last week. I'm really hoping for another good episode. Again, it was the 150th, so
yeah,
it had to be a good one.
I was a little disappointed that there was no Wally West, but if I can find the comments again, I think Corey mentioned. It was Corey or Danny one. One of them mentioned that I don't see the comment anymore. It's way back there. But we know we were talking about like different Earths and who was here and who's there. And it was brought up that, Wally still exists because we hear them talk about Wally. Bart says Uncle Wally helped him learn how to meditate and everything. So we know Wally is still around in the future. But it was a little disappointing not seeing him in this episode.
So what it reminded me a little bit of, did you ever watch Fuller House, the reboot of Full House? And how neither of the twins come back for the show.
Yeah.
Right? Neither of them come back for the show, and so throughout Fuller House, they keep like doing these asides directly to the camera, talking to the actresses that play Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, saying, "Yeah, it would be great if they came back." And I feel that that's almost what's happening is that they're having these kind of aside moments where they talk about Wally, letting us know that he exists, even though we know that Kenny and Lionsdale doesn't have any desire to
right
the character, right? So they have to just have him on this continual sabbatical.
I know what it is. He's allergic to latex.
I think clearly we have not realized how difficult acting in latex can be.
Now, I don't want to make too much fun of this because as people are like, "What are you talking about?" Referencing when Ruby Rose recently, within the last 2 days, came out and said, "Well, look, this is why I left Batwoman. The suit was latex. It caused me to have an allergic reaction, so I had to quit." I kind of threw shade at that. I was like, "Oh, come on." Because if it was that bad, why did you go for a whole year? If it was like death, we were getting deathly ill from this latex, why not say, "Look, give me a nylon suit. Give me a cotton suit with a weird finish on it. Something." Look at Barry. I don't know if it's got latex in it. I'm sure it does. It's pretty tight. But, point is, season 1 Flash suit is all leathery. And now season 7, he has a completely different suit. They can make different suits if it was that and then going back to one of our first video podcasts, I think was, we played the clip of her saying, "Oh, well, we just felt like we did all we could do with the character, and so I left." La, la, la. Completely different story. If you had a legitimate allergic reaction and a health reaction, why would you lie about that? That seems very acceptable and understanding.
Right.
But I don't know.
And I could understand if you went in front of the producers and everybody and said, "Listen, I'm having this allergic reaction. Is there anything you guys can do with the suit so that as an actress, my health is taken care of?" And if they had totally ignored that, I would go, "Oh, that's a pretty legitimate reason to walk away." But I really do believe that that if they knew that she had an allergic reaction to the suit, they would have done everything possible in order to make it so that it wouldn't be an issue. I think that she's got a lot of shit, frankly, for
Yeah.
for leaving the show when she did, and her leaving has, I think, really created. I think it's really screwed that woman over. And as much as I appreciate the work that Javicia Leslie has taken in jumping into the character, the fact is that their plan had been to have Kate Kane stay as Batwoman. And
Yeah.
so,
I mean, Corey says, how many years did Batman wear a suit and no complaints?
Right.
Well, maybe that's why he left town. He left Gotham. He's been gone for like 12 years because he was allergic to latex.
Right. He's like, and they wouldn't fix the suit. Maybe that's the reason. I'm more than happy. I think it's a dumb excuse. I think it's a dumb excuse. It's lame because they could have fixed that easily enough and kept her in the show. If it was just an issue with the wardrobe department, I think she would have stayed. Clearly, her problems were bigger than just that.
I think so. I think it may have been a legitimate thing. I think she may have gotten a reaction. But again, if that was the only issue, then it would have been fixed, or at least attempted to be fixed.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest here. These are celebrities. They're getting paid a lot of money to do these jobs, right? Like a professional athlete is. And they go out of their way to keep them happy. So, again, I just don't buy the excuse. I think it is, again, she's getting a lot of hate from fans about ditching the show, and that's what she did. What's crazy is that she was the paragon of courage, and she chickened out and left. And but I'm probably going to get some hate for that too.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like we put a lot of hope in her in taking on that character that we love and really celebrating it, and she dropped the ball.
I think there's some similarities too there with I don't want to throw any hate on her, but Melissa Benoist on Supergirl. I don't know if it was her decision to like step away from acting. I think it was. I think she was like had a baby or is going to have a baby or wants to have a baby or something like that. And I can understand it. That's a legitimate thing. Like you spent 6 years on something and you want to step away and have some private life. I understand that. I respect that. But the paragon of hope and now she's gone. I don't think any of this was known when Crisis was happening.
No.
But still.
No. But in Melissa Benoist's credit, she has been Supergirl for 6-7 years, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, nobody can say that she's just jumping ship or that she hasn't put her time in for that character. I can accept that shows run their course and they end, and I'm hoping they just give her and the show the kind of ending that they deserve.
Yeah, I'm going to try to watch that when it comes. I don't know when it comes back on. I think it's going to be sometime in the summer, maybe like August, September, something like that.
Yeah. So, that said, I still hold out hope that some of the characters of these other shows will find home. You think about it. Black Lightning ended, and it's like it never happened. And I feel like they had always been distant. And those characters are just, we don't hear anything from them.
They're just the same with Arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of Diggle and Lila was mentioned a few times, but I mean, where are they?
But we know that that these characters are still out there. I'm really hoping they do the smart thing and again incorporate them into something, so that
At least
they're
have cameos.
yeah. I mean, I guess having David Ramsey, doing his cameos, all these shows, lets us know that that's possible. So I'm crossing my fingers.
I'm just wondering if they're only bringing David Ramsey in to close out his storyline with the Green Lantern ring, or I'm sorry, the mysterious green glowing box.
Right.
Nothing has been confirmed. It could have been kryptonite, but no, it's not kryptonite. It's the ring.
It's the ring. But it doesn't.
I mean,
it doesn't seem like he's going to accept it, right?
I thought like when they first showed it, we're like, okay, cool, but there's not going to be an Arrow season 9. So what?
Yeah.
I assumed he was going to be on the HBO Max series, but that turns out that's not the case. So I, think, okay, well, what's this guy? I don't know if they planned on eventually bringing Diggle back in and be like, he, no, listen to this rest of this story, or if they're doing it only because people are like, how dare you? I took Crisis as, oh, it's a little Easter egg for fans going, we were teasing it the whole time, like his helmet had that green light in it, all this stuff. And then finally the box. And I think that was where it was supposed to end, because we all know the story of Green Lantern. We don't need to see another origin and another origin and another origin. I always assumed that's what it was. It was just a little tease just for the sake of it. Like, oh, yep, he's going to be Green Lantern, but you don't get to see it. But I'm happy they're at least talking about it.
Yeah, so it means that there's a plan in the works to do something with it. I think I'm just waiting, on bated breath.
Legends.
Their minds.
Legends would be amazing.
Maybe, and they really need. I feel like they've got a lot of talking people, like a lot of goofballs on Legends.
It's like all it is anymore, except for Sarah, and then now Sarah really isn't Sarah.
Yeah.
I hope you've caught up to Legends, otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, Legends. We didn't really talk about that one too much tonight. I'm enjoying it. I've seen so many people going, "Oh, it's so stupid and goofy." I'm like, that's the point. It's supposed to be.
Right. If you embrace the fact that Legends, as when we had talked with Mark Guggenheim about Legends, he had said that when in the writers' room, absolutely nothing is off the table.
Mm-hmm.
He means it. That they push boundaries and they do things that no other shows are willing to do. And
absolutely,
that's really its strength. And if you embrace that, right? If you embrace that they're gonna right in the middle of it, they're gonna have an animated musical episode, or they're gonna have characters that are sock puppets,
or they bring in Baby Yoda,
right? Or that they're gonna have a Power Rangers moment where they have Super Bebo. I think it's going to be just fine. If you want it to be the way that it was, very serious and straightforward at like season 1, then you're going to be disappointed. But if you're looking for something that's fun and silly, that doesn't take itself too seriously, that's Legends.
I love that last episode. I love every episode. But when they brought in, I can't like call it Baby Yoda, because it was never Yoda to begin with in The Mandalorian. I haven't got to the part where they name it yet. I'm not like on episode 5 or 6, I think, of the first season.
We don't find out Baby Yoda's name until season 2.
Yeah, I mean, I've read all the details. I don't remember much of them, but I've read it because I was like, I'll probably never watch that show, and I read about it. I still look at it and go, ooh, he got a shoulder piece. Oh, he got the whole thing. Oh. Yeah. And then when they got to Tatooine in the latest episode, where he's getting the ship fixed and he leaves the child on the ship, and the lady's like, you can't leave a baby on a ship. Like, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, because I know that area. That's Tatooine. I know this place. It's really cool. And I love that show.
I'm so glad, it's odd, we've never really talked about Star Wars.
No.
I don't know whether you were a Star Wars fan or not.
I would say I'm a casual Star Wars fan. I love the video games. I like, not all the video games, but some of them. I like the main movies, I don't really have too much hate on the newer trilogy. Oh, wow, that freaked me out for a second. I saw you get up for a minute, and I thought maybe you're just, I don't know. But then I saw that, and I was like, holy crap, I was just watching you on TV.
Right. So, yeah, got my visual aid.
That reminds me of the one I saw in like a Target or something where you push like the foot and it's like and fully animated. It's creepy.
This one, it's got the movable arms and the head, but there's no voice box on it. It's just baby Grogu here. So
would have been cool if the ears went up and down too.
It would be there. It's odd. There's like an articulation, like a joint, right in the ear part, and they kind of wiggle.
Okay, well,
but not. I don't think they're meant to wiggle.
Probably not. It's probably just one of those like pegs where they like popped it on at the end of the production.
Yeah. So I was kind of funny story. 1977. One of the dates my parents went on was to go see Star Wars when it came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And as my dad relates, there was my mom sitting on the edge of her seat, and there's my dad slumped over asleep, right? Which true to form, my dad has slept through most of the major movies that I've ever watched with him.
It's funny because, like, not only is it hard to fall asleep in a movie theater for a normal person, my dad did that as well on some movies.
Yeah.
But he could sleep anywhere. But Star Wars, like explosions and lasers all over the place, just sleeping through it. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, and I've watched, the original trilogy countless times. I've watched all of the movies countless times. So I'm quite a fan. So anyway, I'm glad that you are kind of finally getting on board.
I've always liked Star Wars. I've never been a super fan. I'm not going to sit there and it's like some people are so mad. They're like, the books are still real to me, even though like they've officially said, no, that doesn't count. In the video game storylines as well. Like the one video game that I love, well, there's two of them. Star Wars, The Force Unleashed, where you're playing as, I think his name is Star Killer. He's like a clone of this other Darth Vader's secret apprentice and stuff. And Darth Vader's in the game, but you don't play as him. You see him here and there. It's a fun game. And then there's a sequel. And then I love the stories of those games. That's why I like the Star Wars games. But I was never super, super into Star Wars. I've watched all the movies at least once. So I'm one of those people that don't really care who shot first. I don't care if they have a new, more impressive looking Walker or not. Like, I enjoy the movie. The one thing out of all that stuff George Lucas changed or whatever studios changed, I hated that Hayden Christensen was the ghost of Anakin Skywalker in the digital remastered one. I'm like, he was not that guy. I get the metaphor. It's like Anakin died when Darth Vader was born. I get that, but he redeemed himself right before death, so that was Anakin in that form. That was still. Plus, like, why would you go back and not go back in time, but go back and put a whole new actor there? And it's like that part kind of bugged me a little bit because it just didn't make any sense. Other than that, Yeah,
I think that there's always the temptation when you're a writer or director or producer to go and, you can't leave it alone. You want to try to tinker with it. And sometimes you tinker with something and you make it better. And sometimes you mess with it and it's like pulling that thread on a sweater, right? And the whole thing just starts to unravel. And I think we certainly see that. Those places where they've added CGI, where what used to be kind of quaint in their filming methods, now it's very obvious that it's CGI'd.
I mean, a lot of that doesn't bother me too bad, like I said, because I didn't grow up. If I had grown up and saw these movies as a kid or as a teenager and went, oh, how did they change? Why? I probably would be a little bit more upset. Right. Like if they went back and remastered the Superman Chris Reeves movie and took out the wires when he's flying to the moon, because you can see those in the movie.
Right.
I would be upset because I'm like, it's fun to see the wires as he's flying. Like, why fix it? Or it wasn't an ET where they took the guns out of the cops' hands and put walkie-talkies or something. Like, tweaking it a little bit is good, but changing something like the Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost made no sense because would Luke even recognize him? He's like, oh, it's my dad. He never knew. They didn't have pictures. Like, he didn't know what he would look like as a 20-something-year-old, 30-something-year-old.
I think that the point is that when they're a Force ghost, they know.
Well, I can see that, the Force.
I think that was the understanding that things had come full circle, that Anakin was finally at peace. As Danny and I were having this conversation before, that Anakin got this redemption arc, right?
Yeah.
Finally, all that horror that he had experienced, that he was finally at peace and it was over. And
yeah.
that was sort of the symbology. And I realized there had been, some debate about that, but that's what I'm sticking to at this point.
I mean, I guess looking at it from that point of view, I can like maybe hate the new Force Ghost less, but I don't know. It just kind of like shocked me because I'd seen the movie several times before seeing that version.
Steven, hatred is a path to the dark side.
Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. I'm going to start suffering here. And
leads to pain, and pain leads to doubt, and doubt leads to self-loathing, and self-loathing leads to a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
And then that leads to the hospital.
The dark side, yes.
But yeah, like I do like Star Wars. I like the new trilogy as well. The new reboots or whatever you want to call them. A lot of people hate on those, and I mean, I don't really care. Her adopting the name Skywalker was a little cheesy and all that, but I mean, they were good movies. I'm not gonna sit and trash them. I'm not gonna sit and praise them all day. Now, episodes like the prequel trilogy, okay, I could Jar Jar Binks, yeah, please go out and take him away from the movie entirely.
Jar Jar Binks is my wife's favorite character.
I mean, well, Jar Jar Binks, well, he's pretty cool, actually. I mean, it's a fun character, but for a Star Wars character, I was just like, what does he do? He takes them to the thing to get, like, the vehicle or whatever, and then the whole battle starts.
Jar Jar is silly. He's comic relief. What would have been a very serious movie, and Jar Jar allows us to laugh a little bit. He is the comic relief, and so I think we need that sometimes.
That is true.
The one show, and again, I'm really glad that you're on Team Mandalorian, and I look forward to us having some more convos about what you're watching because I love it. The one show we have not. I'm telling lies.
Telling lies? What lies?
What lies am I telling you?
Yeah, really. This is interesting.
New
development.
The plot thickens.
The suspense.
I know.
Dot.
He's gonna leave us here in suspense.
Man, so that's in the original trilogy. I mean,
well,
one way to look at it.
That explains why the Death Star blew up. I think that probably would make a lot more sense.
Misa, first day on job. Misa not know how to fly.
Misa, push all the buttons. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. We thought it was Luke Skywalker, shooting those, shooting the Death Star, and instead it was Jar Jar the whole time.
Drew Carey.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That is not a lie.
I like some Drew Carey.
Yeah. Jill liked the less skinny Drew Carey. So,
okay.
Yeah. We will have that discussion for another time. One thing we haven't talked about yet, and I don't want us to leave because it's like my absolute favorite show right now.
Yeah.
Superman and Lois.
How have we gone this long, almost to the end of the show, without talking about them?
I think it's like dessert, right? We've eaten all the vegetables, we've had the main course, and now we are enjoying, dessert. And for me, that's what Superman and Lois is. It's like that comfy, warm blanket that just come out of the dryer, right? Like it is just that awesome. And I realize that sometimes.
Hey, I mean, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I sleep in a phone booth. I mean,
yeah, but I will tell you what I really love is the fact that every single episode, it just keeps getting better and better, or it's
really does.
Consistently good. You know, the writers, the graphics, the storyline, and in this one, we know that Clark had been turned, by what we find out is the spirit or the personality of General Zod.
Yeah.
And so that had been the fear, is that just like on John Henry Irons' Earth, that Superman has been turned, and we know that that's bad for the Earth, right? It took Superman 7 minutes on John Henry Irons' Earth to destroy Metropolis.
7 minutes, yeah.
7 minutes, which to me sounds like a long amount of time, considering Superman.
Yeah.
But what we find out, though, is that the Superman on this Earth, the difference, and I think it's the important difference, is Lois and the kids. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he has something that connects him to the Earth, right? Not just his parents, but that's important as well. Not just his friendships, well, I mean, that's equally important, and the town of Smallville, but like Clark and his connection with Lois and with the kids, they've given him something to fight for, and I think that was really cool.
I love that about that show. It's got that heart. And how about like the two kids? I mean, come on, you know Jordan Elsass and Alex Garfin. Like those kids are amazing.
Yeah, I mean they're amazing because of their acting, and they're also amazing because Alex Garfin follows the podcast on Twitter.
Yeah,
and Jordan Elsass is going to be joining us next month.
Yeah, August 29th.
Yeah, August 29th for an interview. And then we got a bunch of people that we're trying to line up.
Yeah, I was going to mention it, but I don't want to say too much because we don't really have any definite things.
But if we're just going to kind of see the air a little bit, we were given the hookup. It's amazing that whole. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And Mark Guggenheim, being awesome like he is, he's got a lot of contacts, and he had told us that we could drop his name, and
that helped out a lot.
It did, and we got a response by somebody who's able to go and make contacts with a lot of these actors. And so
we actually got specific names that realistically this person, that was about 8 names from 2 shows combined, together. And then there's another show, which I'll go ahead and say the show, Legends of Tomorrow, which we don't have anything confirmed because I believe they're in production right now. So there's a little bit of more of a wait and kind of see sort of thing with them to see their availability. But some of the names mentioned, I don't want to really spoil it now because I'm like, oh, then people will know. Some of them were amazing. I was like, oh, one of them I will say was Jordan Elsass because we already have agreed and he's agreed. But yeah, Superman and Lois, anybody from that show. Anybody. I'm kind of disappointed that Warner Brothers kind of said, no on some of the writing team because we were looking forward to that. But some of the people from the other shows I'm really pumped for if they happen. Some of them we've kind of said, well, maybe they could improve a little bit more. And some of them are awesome. I'm excited. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to say too much because of the fact that we don't even know if any of them will be available.
Right. But the fact that we've got the door open and we're talking with the person who is able to set that up, I feel that's just we're just 1 degree of separation closer. And
there's also 2 other sources that we've reached out to for 2 other shows. The different publicity team that handles different shows. So we've reached out to them, no response yet. But I mean, it's the weekend, so I'm kind of all this sort of happened on what was it, Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
I woke up, looked at my phone and emails, and boom, this whole huge email with all this information. Oh my gosh. So hopefully something comes out. I'm sure something will come out of it.
I know we say it a lot, but thank you, Mark. You really, go to bat for us, and you are definitely the gift that keeps on giving.
I really hope. I will say the one name who I would love to talk to. I don't know why, but when we were discussing Legends, and we were asked, "Who would you want?" I've never been asked that question. Like, who would you want? As far as like an interview, like we get to pick, like, all of them, like.
Right.
But that's not a guarantee of like everyone will be available. But like if there's an interest, the one person I could think of was the voice of Gideon, because I thought, how cool would it be to have Gideon go, "Hello, fellows. Today we're on the podcast, and yes, you will have 100 viewers. History says," or whatever,
Right.
I just think that was so. But then again, I don't want to bug her like, "Do the Gideon, do it."
Right.
But still, that's one I would love to talk to.
It's just my voice.
I mean, I would totally like record a sound clip and put that in the intro somewhere.
So, So I'll tell you what. I'm really excited with where the podcast is going. I feel like we've got this incredible momentum building. And, And if you guys can't feel that excitement with us, you just, there's something wrong with you. Because I really feel like we put all this work in. Things are building momentum. We've got a lot of neat talent lined up. Coming up here, and it's just gonna take off from there. I do want to bring up one really important idea. And, John Diggle coming on to Superman and Lois here this week. There were two things that his arrival basically told us. Number one was the revelation to John Diggle, and through him, the rest of the other shows, that the multiverse exists, that there are other Earths out there. Post-crisis, there's more Earths out there than just Earth Prime. I think that revelation is going to open up a lot as far as how things work. Number two, and I think it's the big one, it is the fact that John Diggle has gone and run the gamut of all of the shows, and it's the same John Diggle at the same age.
Yeah.
What does that tell us? It means that this is post-crisis, that that Superman and Lois had one kid before Crisis, and then they had twins, and then what we had, it's almost like this super fast speed up.
Yeah.
After Crisis, they're teenagers, and Superman and Lois have been together for 20 years.
And that's really interesting because thinking about Crisis, who wished this? Like, I'm happy that we are getting what we're getting.
Right.
But this Superman wasn't even a Paragon. So I would understand a Paragon going and like looking at the sky really, really hard created their new universes. But he wasn't even there.
Right.
And so Oliver and him really didn't, not that they hated each other, but like Oliver was intimidated by him and all this. So I don't know. It's interesting to see like how and why they have such a different future or present.
I think that bottom line it is the fact that I think that Oliver Queen, in his role as the Spectre, I think that he set up all the dominoes because they're going to need Superman, and they're going to need Jonathan and John, or Jonathan and Jordan.
Yeah.
I think that there's a very intentional reason why this has happened the way that it has.
And it's going to happen soon,
yeah.
Because otherwise, why age them up 16 years?
Yeah.
Which has not happened before in the Arrowverse that I know of.
Yeah.
Because I mean, not counting the characters that have come from the future and are in the past, but legit like current timeline characters that were one person at it at infancy level, and then the next day, 2 people at 16 years old with a full backstory.
But again, we know that characters that were dead have come back to life.
Yeah.
Post-crisis. So it shouldn't be too crazy of a thought.
No.
That here they are, teenagers. And again, for me, I'll be honest and say that I had gotten it wrong. I had made the guess that the show took place in the future. But as Corey had pointed out to me numerous times, if it had taken place in the future, there would have been a lot of futuristic gadgets and gizmos aplenty, and there weren't any of those things.
But then again, it does take place in Smallville. That seems to never change from the 1950s.
True. Like Smallville seems very stuck in the past.
Yeah,
and I get that.
It really could have gone either way. Honestly,
it really
I always thought it was current day, but at the same time, it really could have been any time period.
I was really on the fence until John Diggle showed up. Clearly not 16 years older. And I feel like that was the validation that we needed, that, okay, this is just a trick they played on us post-crisis where they've fast-forwarded the family and the kids. They've super matured them. So anyway, for me, I thought that was one major mystery that I could check that box and go, all right, I get it.
And it was a big deal. I mean, even for the people that always had the theory that it was current day or present day, whatever, it's still a big deal to confirm that 100%. It's etched in stone, like we know it for sure. And that just means, like you said, like they exist for a reason. They're going to need them. So it's going to be interesting to see what that is. And they teased General Zod. So it's like, oh my gosh, like this is getting good.
Yeah.
And the one thing I wanted to bring up, like from Superman and Lois, was, I was always, like, from the day one, I think we both said it, like Kyle is going to have powers, and it was very short lived, but he did, and he was like, his character was kind of an asshole, but now it's like I love the guy. It's like they took that, like the guy I hated the most, even more than Morgan Edge himself, and then flipped it, and it's like, oh, we got you, and now you love him. It's like, because as we saw in the last episode, their family is faced with so much like backlash from everybody in Smallville. We hate you. How dare you? You Morgan Edge supporter. How dare you? It's like, you're all just as guilty, but you're attacking this family even to the point where they went to their home and threw rocks through the windows, spray paint, graffiti, everything. And it created this beautiful moment at the end where they're like washing the house and like getting into like a water hose fight, and they're all happy, and it's like, oh, I love them.
Yeah,
and it's really cool.
They're happy. They're happy places making dinosaur pancakes in the kitchen. Right?
Yeah, I almost forgot they had another kid.
Right.
Because that girl, I was like, who is this? Is it a flashback? Like what?
It really does feel like Joe and Cecile's baby. Right?
Yes.
Like,
Julie Winslow.
Yeah. At some point, you're like, oh, yeah, they do have a child.
I mean, Joe is off, like, helping his former enemy, who now we know is dead, or I guess is a clone somehow. He's not home taking care of the baby, and Cecile's, like, busy putting people inside of other people's heads. Where's this baby at?
Yeah. Maybe Killer Frost is babysitter.
Maybe.
Yeah. He does have a maternal instinct.
It was cool to see Frost too pop up. It's always cool to see her pop up. She's not a big secret, but you see Caitlin most of the episode, and all of a sudden, Frost.
I know.
It's like, oh, cool.
I've got to say that I feel a little bit bad for Caitlin. I realize we've kind of gone full circle here. But you get Nora and Bart. They show up and they go, Uncle Joe, or Grandpa Joe, and they go, Grandma Cecile, and then they're like, hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
They were like, Chester. They were so excited to see Chester, and then it was like, oh, hi, Caitlin.
Makes me wonder if something is if that's like a foreshadowing for maybe Caitlin being killed.
Yeah.
because they're not so attached to her. Just like in the first time Nora came back, she was super distant from Iris,
right?
Because she resented her so much.
It could be, or it could be just that, Caitlin sometimes has a frosty personality.
She could be pretty cold.
She could be. So, I just noticed that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that until you pointed it out. But I'm like, you're right. They didn't seem excited at all to see her.
So, I'm sure that there's nothing. It's very possible that you don't feel the same kind of connection with everybody.
And I think it's cool too that the kids know about past Nora that no longer exists.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
I'm sure that they've heard a lot of stories.
Because that was one of the questions I had when I knew Nora and Bart was coming. They were both coming, and when I saw Nora pop up, hey, Dad, look, I'm okay. Yeah, you're gonna be happy in a minute. Like, here's Bart, your son. At that point, I didn't know if that was a new Nora or if it was like the old Nora catching back up again and coming back. But now we know it's completely different Nora. Which I cannot wait for the episode to air on Tuesday.
Yeah, I
the
think
finale.
Between that and between Superman and Lois, I think I'm going to be really happy.
And Superman and Lois still has like 4 or 5 episodes.
They do. I mean, there have been a number of points along the way where I thought, wow, this is sort of like finale level writing. And we still have, Morgan Edge. He's not dead. He's in prison. What did you think of that fight between Superman and
oh my gosh, that was awesome. That was such a good little fight.
And they had brought him in as the endgame, right? He was supposed to come in there. He's going to use the kinetic hammer. He's going to use that solar weapon and kill Superman. And between Lois confessing to him, that this was her husband.
It was a big moment, yeah.
Yeah, and then Jonathan going to him and saying,
"Please don't."
He said, "Find another way," and the fact that he does,
and it's the CW formula: talk out your problems and win. But they even such an overused story tool, they turned into such good storytelling. Yeah. Like, they did it in a way that it made more sense and it was better than any other show has done that same thing.
If there was a time where somebody could have been talked to,
the assistant lady is still at large. I believe she is.
Yeah.
She might be making her way over here to talk to us. Who knows?
That would be awesome.
But yeah, I really loved that fight. When he made that decision, he's just like, because even Clark, fighting off General Zod, was like, do it, kill me. And I'm like, oh, he's going to do it. Realistically, we all knew he wasn't going to do it. But it was so cool that he's like, yes, you're doing the right thing. Please kill me. He's like, how does he refuse that? This guy he's wanting to kill for a whole year is begging him to kill him.
Yeah.
How do you, and then oh gosh, that was such a good moment.
And I think that it became I think it revealed his character. Mm-hmm. Right? He had the chance. I think first of all, he realized that this Superman was not his enemy. And
he finally realized.
I think he also realized that the importance of this Superman to Lois and to his family. Right? He had said that family is sacred. And by killing Superman, he would have deprived Lois and Jonathan and Jordan of the one thing that he desperately misses.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a big contributing factor. Would he have killed Superman if he couldn't have talked him out of it? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But I think we needed that moment. And the fact that we've got another superpower ally.
Yeah, we're starting to see. And what about the moment when he comes in and lands? He's like, and then John is like, oh, like trying to run away almost.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's okay. And then like they have that connection between him and each of the kids, like in a different way. Like that was a really good moment. And then when Superman flies back down right before that, and the kids are like, look, there he is. Oh my gosh. Like, oh, so good.
Yeah. I love it. I really can't stop gushing about it.
And I'm going to love being able to talk to Jordan coming up and hopefully a little bit more, more people. And talking about more people, I'm going to talk about some people that you can follow on Twitter here.
Yeah.
Coming up, I know we've talked to them before, but I believe next week we're going to have Jay and Todd again. I love talking to those guys. After talking about, going to Northwood Pizza and everything and all this stuff, I'm like, and I told them about it. They saw it. They're like, oh, it'd be so cool to come back. They're eager to come on anytime. Because I had the conversation with them when we were talking about my script, and I didn't record it. I did record it, but I didn't post it for anything. It was just kind of notes for me. And in that, though, they mentioned, yeah, last time we were on the show, we were disappointed when we ended our interview and then we were gone, and then you guys kept talking about Spider-Man or something like that, and we were really bummed out. We wanted to talk about Spider-Man too. So I've kind of invited them to kind of just do that. We just talk about whatever, TV, movies, whatever it is. I might talk a little bit about the upcoming Jackass film because I love the stupid stunts and stuff that they do. And I was talking with Todd about that on Twitter. He's like, oh, I love Jackass. I'm like, really? Okay, well, this is interesting. Not everybody's cup of tea, obviously. If you've ever seen it, you know that why I say that. And then you can follow us on Twitter, cooking recipes. I don't know, Corey. Maybe we talk about cooking recipes. Who knows? Todd probably makes a pretty good pizza. Makes me wonder if the pizza that you see at Northwood Pizza today is any better than what Todd made. Makes me wonder. We got to get him. One day I'll be at Northwood Pizza with you, and Todd will be there as well, making us a pizza. And then we can eat that compared to the pizza that they already have. And then, I don't know. I'm thinking of something.
I would be totally down to eat that pizza.
But yeah, Mark Guggenheim is our sponsor and friend and has done so much for us. So you can check him out on Twitter at @mguggenheim. Follow us on Twitter as well, almost on Facebook. But you can follow us on Facebook too, like the page and everything. There's also a Between a Pot and a Hard Place group on Facebook that we don't really talk about. To be honest, I almost forgot it existed because we focus so much on the Twitter and the actual streams and stuff. But it's the same name, just Between a Pot and a Hard Place. And it's a discussion group. We try to get that going again. But I think it's essentially what the Twitter is for us now, but in one group. Yeah. So you can follow us at Pot and Hard Place. Follow Chris at CJ_Kirk1979 and myself at Steven_Colton. And I'm still trying to get more audio episodes up at our audio podcast site, which is anchor.fm/Between a Pot and a Hard Place, or you can search Google, Apple, Spotify, all those things, and it'll come up on all those, or most of those. I don't want to say all, because then you'll go to one and like, it's not on here, he lied. But most of the major podcasting platforms.
Yeah.
And then stickers, but I've got a few stickers left. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. One's going to my mom, one's going on my car, and I think I have one more.
I've got one on my car. I got one in my office at work. I gave Corey one. And Danny, if you want to come by the house and pick one up, I've got one with your name on it too.
I think maybe I should sneak over a fence and slap one on the side of an airplane.
There we go.
No, I would probably go to jail.
Yes.
But and never be able to fly on a plane again.
You could at least give it to a TSA agent, though.
Like, could you stick this on the side of the plane? Like,
right.
Yeah, like put my stuff in the cup as I'm going through TSA, and then leave a sticker in there. He's like, you forgot something. Nope, that's all you.
Yeah.
And like the worst tip in the world.
He's like, what am I going to do with this crap?
put it on the bucket, the little TSA collection bucket. So then next time somebody sees it, like, what's this about? Or I could just get a ton of those made and put one on every bottle of water that I stock.
There we go.
And then it's like, oh, I'm drinking my bottle of water on the plane, looking at this podcast. Let me listen to it.
I think we're gonna get to a point where people are going to be begging us for those stickers. So,
Probably. I mean, everybody has shown them to love them.
Like I've said before, I'm speaking it into existence, right?
Speak it.
You know what? People are going to want those stickers, and they're pretty cool. So,
and hopefully some shirts coming up soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, maybe not soon, but someday.
Yeah. So hey, this has been a blast.
Yeah, it's been a good episode.
A lot of stuff. So we're looking forward to next week.
Yeah, and join us as we talk to Jay and Todd, and probably I want to have to get some pizza and have it ready next week so that I can or at least have a picture of pizza. Yeah, and the box should be here by then because I think that's another thing. Mail deliveries on Saturdays sometimes get here, sometimes don't. It just really depends.
Yeah,
but
hopefully get your Northwood pizza box and menu tomorrow.
It'd be perfect timing too because it felt like a long week with them on the show. I'd show it off like, haha. Yeah. All right.
I'm sure
that's been fun.
The furthest anybody's ever delivered a Northwood pizza box before.
Yeah. I mean, the delivery fee, oh my gosh.
Right. We'll need to have Ori deliver it for us.
Yeah, $12,000 for a pizza though. I mean, $3,000 each way.
But it would be so worth it.
It probably would. Now, if Todd were there delivering with Corey and then held the pizza up.
They could always throw Todd and Jay in the back.
Yeah, they're just right in the back like, this is fun.
Yay, we're delivering pizza now. This is what our life has become.
It'd be cold after about 3 days of travel, but...
Yeah, but it would be worth it.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to next week and looking forward to August in general. We'll see what comes out of August. And maybe we'll talk to a few legends. I'm excited about that too.
I am too.
Oh my gosh, I can't stop talking about it and thinking about it. I haven't gotten an email in a couple of days and it's very, very, very suspenseful. Like, come on.
Right. But we just need to follow up and,
Definitely.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
All right. So I got to go back to work in 12 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm rambling on and going on. So we'll go ahead and say good night, good evening, whatever it is. If you're in Japan right now listening to this, we'll good morning-ish. I don't know. It'd be awesome. Some Japanese guy sitting there watching like, oh, yes, Superman. I don't know.
So racist. Oh.
But I mean, like, they don't speak English. Not all of them. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. So this week has been fun.
Yes.
We will see you all next week. Yatta! All right. So talk to you later. Have a good night.
Thank you.
See ya.